Hello, Mr. Douglas. My name is YE, and today I'll do a run through of my codes. So, what I have here is that there is a click manager, a state script, and a state function. Now, I'll do a brief summary and I'll run through the codes in detail after that. So, for the click manager, it basically handles all the clicks, and there are two parts to it, which is to check for the click and to check for the drag. Okay, the next script will be the state script. The state script houses all the states and the booleans needed to run the script. The last script will be the state function script. This state function script has all the state transitions and state animations. So how the flow of the scripts go is the click manager will detect a click or a drag, followed by the state script handling the states and whether they are allowed to proceed by the use of booleans, right? Whether they are allowed to uh, true or false. Because in this click manager script, if you click on the correct object that's regarding the current state, then you will return a true on the boolean, and the boolean corresponds with the state, and thus you will run the function to do the animation and to go on to the next state. Okay, so for click manager, I will run through from top to bottom. Over here is to state the variables, and I have references to the state script and the state function script, which is both scripts, because I needed it to transmit information and to check some stuff in between here and there. Okay, so there's an update function that checks the click and drag. Now, when the user left clicks, and after that the position will be translated into a Unity world coordinate, and I changed it to a 2D vector 2 because my game's in 2D. After that, I'll have a raycast hit 2D which uses physics and has the position. Now, if the the collider detects something, which means when you click on an object, it has the box collider, you will then look at which state it is in now, and then after that you will determine if the name of what you clicked on is the same as what the current state requires. If both is true, then if this statement is true, it will store the name as a public reference, and you will start a true as the transition variable. And then next up will be how to check for drag. It will be the same thing where I change the screen point to a Unity world screen coordinate, a Unity world coordinates, and this time I use get mouse button, which will return true whenever I hold down on it. And I started this timer which adds up the time in between each frame to this float value, and if the float value is more than or equals to this half a float, then the position of the game object you're holding on will be equals to the position of the mouse, which means to say you will follow the mouse, and the drag name is a string that holds the name of the object that you held down. Then after that, once you lift up your mouse button, which is input.getMouseUp. Then you will check the script, have a distance value which is between the mouse position and the place where you want to drag it on top of. If the distance is less than this amount, then if the drag name is correct relating to the script, you will also return a true value, and thus allowing the script to continue its transition. It's the same for all the rest, and now I'll go on to a state script. Now, all these booleans here are to allow or prevent the state transitions to continue. If the boolean is false, the state cannot continue. If it's true, the function will run in state functions. Now I use the enumerator to hold all the enum states, and after that I went to have a update function to check if the boolean is correct. If it is correct, you run the function, and it's the same for all of them until the end. Next up will be a state function. It has references to both scripts as well, and it has some transforms and game objects to carry out the animation. And let's look at this example. This is when, after I picked up the shovel, it will transition to its state, and it will set active to these two sprites, which will then transition to the next state. And after it transitions to the next state, you will wait for the click manager to start an input before it will actually run all these functions. That's the run through of my script. Thank you.